Hello and welcome to Michele Holden Art Beyond Mixed Media. If you've caught the latest 10-minute daily sessions of what I started in the 100-Day Project last year, I have a whole playlist. And today's video is partially about that, but it's also about how my 10-minute art practice or session is changing, it's shifting. And I'm finding that this wonderful 60-page Canson mixed media is now not big enough. Just because I'm needing more space. I want more negative space and to be able to make my marks in more freedom. But that's okay. It's still a really good warm-up session that I know I can have and utilize for 10 minutes, even if that's the only thing I can do that day. So take a look at the playlist. The link will be somewhere on the video here. And I'm going to take us a little farther today. And I'm going to show you some of the pages in larger art journals that I do like and some that I don't like, and why. Because it's all about a feeling. It's all about chasing that authenticity, a mark that, a page that I guess reflects back to us as us. So what you're learning and what I'm learning, it isn't wrong when we have a page that isn't authentic. It's just showing what's there at the time, and then we just need to keep moving forward. So let me show you a couple of those pages, and then I'll do a demonstration of a 10-minute art session that's more open. And I noticed even my art tools are changing and evolving. So this is all good. It means you are growing. So if you're feeling this kind of gentle shift, it might not be gentle. You're not alone. So let me know in the comments how you're doing in your whatever daily art session you're participating in, and I'll be glad to read them. So let's get started. I'll start with this one. And what this one is about, it's a section of a large canvas that I have on the top. And what I loved was the whole layering of the different drips early on, later on adding the squares, and then doing a variety of different space dots that show different energy. So I know that part of me wants to continue with this, or just create a series in this feeling. I've shown this before using some stencils and some free marks. So this is speaking to me. This is more authentic. And you see just the little bit of layering and the lines, those dashes, which are more on an angle, which changes the energy. I absolutely love the colors in this, which is really not me. Maybe it is. It's not what I would usually choose. This is closer because there's more negative space. It can breathe. And this is a deli wrap just with those negative lines. I believe it's a ghost print from a jelly plate. And I'll just move quickly along. This one is okay, but there's just so much going on. So they're all vying for attention. But I do love this upper left-hand corner. Very busy, but I liked how it's more free. This one started very loose and free, but then it ended up tight, most likely from overthinking. And I'll end here. As you can see, the energy of this one, and in my notes, which is late August of this year, I felt very disconnected during the session, like I forgot my techniques or my marks. And most likely I've been doing too much planning in my head, thinking about my art, and not enough doing. So I had to pause, reconnect, and then just keep going. And it's good to leave these ones as a reminder. So that's just a quick example. And today I'll do my 10-minute. And what I still find helpful is a very limited palette. I think the only hero color that I bring in might be a yellow oxide or even a transparent orange. I was exploring yesterday and I rediscovered, and because I forgot about my fine line applicator. That's great for finishing lines because they really have a physical texture when they dry. So I'm going to use Mars Black. This is the palette I was using yesterday, so I'll just put it back on. And we're just going to see where this goes. There is no plan. I don't like to have a plan because I want to just see what will happen. I want to use my intuitive process. And I don't want to think. And I find the best way for me to stop that overthinking is while I'm talking to you, while I'm creating. So this is just a win-win, isn't it? So the pages can stick if I forget to put a piece of newsprint in between. And just another note, I love how newsprint fades. It goes more yellow. So I'm just going to, I don't know if I'll do that because it's just too big of a piece sticking out. But this will prevent any medium or paint leaking over the sides. Now I've got a few new tools. I want to use my little palette knife along with my color shapers. I just have to move that spray bottle. Of course, my awl for scoring through. My becoming a favorite brush of mine, this thin one. But I know that I need to also use a thick brush as well, wider marks. So I'll choose probably this one. I've had this one a long time. What I'm going to be adding today, though, is monoprinting. Just with Strathmore tracing paper. You can always also use the tracing paper as a palette page on top of the damp blue paper towels on a restaurant tray or any other kind of tray that you can put dampen them underneath, and your acrylic lasts, I say, probably a few more days than usual. I know I've just been using the dry palette lately, but when I'm working in a series and I know it requires more days, I will definitely switch to that. So I'm just going to leave this. What I'm going to do is just pour directly from the Liquitex black because I want to use, or just brush it on and then flip it over with the page And another fabulous way to monoprint is to use these thin plastic sheets. You can use cover pages for binders, and all really make a beautiful, unpredictable mark. You know the shape, you just don't know how it's going to look. So that's what I'm going to start with. If you've watched a lot of my videos, and welcome if you're here for the first time, I forgot to introduce. This is my evolving 10-minute daily art sessions. This will be in the playlist mentioned in the comments below. Just right now, I forget what I titled the playlist. So I'm just going to also get away from my default all over marks, and I just need more open space. The open space also includes leaving some of the paper showing, because in the future, when I scale up to larger, I love when there's pieces of the canvas still evident. So this is your water-soluble graphite. Slowing down. I find this speed is okay for a scribble, but then when you include this really switching and letting it guide your hand and turn and twist, these marks are way more interesting. And you don't want to overcrowd. At least I don't. Because then it'll just be just a very crowded bunch of marks, and nothing will stand out. So I'm going to start with some medium. This is a gloss today that I'm using. I switch back and forth. I'm going to use my big color shaper. It loves to smudge because it's a water-soluble graphite. Notice this doesn't smudge as much. And I realize I forgot to put the timer on. So we'll just approximate. I think I will go 7. Now, let's see. Let's try some of those. So I'm going to start with a really cool, just overlapping. And I'm going to crop it down here. I don't want the whole thing there. So as you can see, when you add pressure, there's a bit of a texture. It's almost like branching. And it wipes off very easily. So you can reuse this. Let's go with a white. Now I didn't dry it. So I'm liking, oh, look at that. So in the end, after you use this for monoprinting, it might turn out to be a wonderful piece of collage paper as well. I'm going to dampen, my bamboo brush. I'm trying to get real, unplanned marks and layer them. And I'm really finding the mono printing very, very effective. What's calling me now is a big expressive stroke with this bamboo brush. There. Okay. Okay, so we'll use... I'm noticing and I'm being a lot more aware of the type of marks that I love to use. I don't know if I'll continue them, get tired of them. I'm not sure. But for now, I like these, and I like them especially, these dashes, when the brush is slightly more wet. This is a fluid Liquitex Mars Black. The white is the same brand. It is a titanium white. This is unbleached. This is the basics. It's much thicker. I'm deciding whether to... No, I'm not going to do the blue. We said we're going to do an orange. But just like a little touch of color. Okay. Now I want to continue with this overlapping, but I want to slow down because these circles, I like to have them be more organic and overlap. Now I like that they mix with the gray. It made another value. I also like using my finger. I like to mix. More white in there. Okay. I'm just going to add a few pieces of collage. This is ink dots done with this bamboo brush with acrylic ink. And this paper is so absorbent and it's so amazing when treated in that way. Oh yeah. So this isn't dry yet. So that's, well, it's not totally tricky, but oh, look at that. Crazy. So thank goodness I had that underneath. Wipe that up. And it melts away. Oh, let's squeeze some of that paint out of there. Interesting. This piece of collage is an old book page, and it's a roll-off for my brayer. I keep a stack right here at the side whenever I'm using the brayer, mostly for my jelly plate printing though. Let's explore this one. This is mulberry paper. Notice I'm just doing that intuitive placement, I call it. Okay. And of course, when you're doing 10 minutes with all these layers, it can get very messy. But, you know, there's no rules. You can stop your time, dry them, and then continue. I'm just doing it this way because that's the way I thought would work. Notice I didn't put any marks on that. I just wanted to see what it would do. So let's go with a small piece of not that. This old book page with some writing on it. And it's very thin. I know my timer is going. Ah, that's nice there. And I'm noticing, well, I'm ending up covering up all those dashes. Well, maybe not all of them, but some of them. So let's just finish up with a little bit of yellow oxide. And where are you? I'm just looking for a particular, there it is, brush. So I still love this little bit of a splash at the end. Okay, and that's an interesting, more satisfying 10-minute session. As I was a little freer, I used my mono printing, and my marks, I believe, were more expressive. I don't know about the finished page, but that isn't the point. And as I was going through the video, I realized I didn't even use my fine line applicator. So here's just a little example of where I would usually put it on top of a transparent piece. It's sort of giving me a hard time, but I like the marks that were there. And as you can hear, that's Dexter in the background, asking and wanting to go on his walk. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to enjoy our day, and I hope you enjoyed this and enjoy your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so Dexter is pulling me on the walk, but he's getting much better. He's a rescue dog, and he's beginning to pay a lot more attention to the tightness of the leash, but not so much the beginning of the walk. So I'll show you some of our sights. We live by the water. And here's Dexter. So I think he thinks he's a sled dog, and he needs to pull me. I always love the shadows that he makes when the sun's behind our backs from the west. And now he's making his first stop. So we'll continue down the road, have a beautiful walk on a November day.